Hey, what's up, blues fans? John here with the Blues Guitar Institute, and welcome to the Tuesday Blues. This is lesson number 8. So this lesson comes from one of the BGI community members, and it was emailed to me from Bonnie. And Bonnie asked for a lesson on how to snap a bass note. And I think this is an insanely bluesy thing to do. So I want to give you an example lick that really emphasizes the snap. I'll play that for you, and then I'll take you through the technique. So here we go. Okay, there you go. That's the lick, and you can tell that that's got a nice bluesy groove thing. We're working around that E blues shuffle, and the lick, you can definitely hear those real pronounced, snappy bass notes, which is the real concept in this lesson. So let me take you through note by note what I'm doing here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about how to get that snappy sound on the bass strings. So what I'm doing is I'm going back and forth between this E blues shuffle thing and the lick. Now if you don't know the E blues shuffle, this is a real quick rundown of what I'm doing. I've got the open 6th string, and the 5th string I've got my first finger here, my index finger on my fret hand at the 2nd fret, 5th string, and then I toggle back and forth between that E5 position here and an E6 by moving up with my ring finger on the 4th fret of the 5th string. And it looks like this. And that's the shuffle groove that you got to keep going throughout this. And my picking hand for that part is mostly going down on the downbeat with my thumb, and then I like to pick up with my index finger, just do like a brush up on those 2 strings really. So down on those 2 strings and then up. Everything else is nice and muted out. Hopefully that's the idea anyway. And then I switch into the lick, which is this. Okay, and the notes that I'm using there are the open 6th string, pull off from the 3rd fret on the 6th string to the open 6th string, and then this E octave here on the 4th string, 2nd fret. And I'm catching that with my first finger here, and then my middle finger is taking care of all the other notes here. So it looks like this. And really that last note is just setting us up for headed back into the groove. And that was with the snapping sort of played down. But here it is with the snapping pronounced. Now, you can move that snap around to different notes, and I really encourage you to do it at different times because moving it around just gives a little bit of a different musical statement. So, but we're going to snap quite a lot of these notes in this example. So let's take a deeper look now at what that looks like. Okay, so for that first note, we're starting out with the open E string. So how I'm doing that snap, instead of just coming down and picking in a downward motion with my thumb, I'm kind of curling my wrist up a little bit and getting behind the string and pushing out like that. Now this sounds like it has an aggressive attack, and in relation to just pushing down on the strings, it is aggressive. But the real point that I want to make about the attack is you don't have to do a ton. You don't have to yank the string off the guitar to get that snap sound. And you can do that, but you may want to have a couple of extra sets of strings around just in case, But it really doesn't take all that much. The trick is to get underneath the string with your thumb and push out and not down, or I don't even know how you do it up, but in this case, you're really focusing on out instead of down. And that's the whole thing in a nutshell, because what you're getting when you push out is the string comes off the fretboard and snaps back against the fretboard. Just the force of that string kind of stretching upward it has one place to go, and that's back down, and it meets the fretboard and gives that nice snap. So that's what we're aiming for. And in this lick, I like to snap on that opening little piece, both notes, both the open 6th string and then this G note here on the 3rd fret. And of course you can't snap the open note, it just needs to ring when you pull off. But it gives me time to set up the next snap here on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And this one is cool because I don't use my thumb for this, so you're going to get another finger into this snapping technique. And for me, that usually tends to be my index finger here, my 1st finger. And you're kind of going to use the same technique, although maybe it's a little less obvious. You're going to curl your finger underneath the string and pull out. But to do that, I like to go, so I'm working with the 4th string here, and I'll get kind of under the string, go in, and then pull out. And it sounds like a pretty big movement, you know, a lot to do to aim to hit that spot. But like I said, you don't need a lot of force, so really you just need to get used to sneaking in and picking up on that string just a little bit. Again, it doesn't have to be, you know, this wild snap kind of thing. Although certain times you may want to do that, but if you're just getting going, you know, practice on just lightly pushing out and then pulling up. And for some reason, when I do this, I just tend to close my hand up and just, I don't know if that helps you, but maybe it's just, you know, rocking the fingers around. These guys flying all over the place just would probably get in the way. So I bring them in and sort of have a fist, but I've got these two fingers open to do what they need to do here. And then we're back into the E groove. All right, so there you go. Listen, I want to thank Bonnie for sending in that great question. I mean, it gets right at the heart of one of the super bluesy guitar techniques that you hear. I really love this technique, and it's a great way to add some dynamics to your playing so that everything doesn't have to sound so nice and neat and clean. And this is a great way to just throw some grit after you're playing. So give this lick a little bit of a practice and see if you can take this technique and put it into some other licks that you already know. That's it for this lesson. I want to remind everybody that if you've got an idea that you want covered on the Tuesday Blues series, just shoot an email over to Tuesday@bluesguitarinstitute.com and let me know, and we'll see about getting one filmed up, because you never know. This could be something that, you know, definitely you might be struggling with, but there could be tons of other people out there in the BGI community that need to hear that exact same thing. So I really encourage you to stand up and send that email over, and let's keep this thing rolling, guys. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in lesson 9.